Should you buy or rent your home? It's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make, and most people get it wrong because they only look at the obvious costs. Welcome to Investment Iguana, where today we're breaking down the real, hidden costs of buying versus renting that nobody talks about. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete framework to make this decision based on your specific situation, whether you're in New York, London, Tokyo, or anywhere else in the world. Let's start with what most people think they know. The common wisdom says that renting is throwing money away while buying builds equity. But this oversimplified view ignores dozens of hidden costs that can make buying far more expensive than it appears. First, let's examine the hidden costs of buying that most people completely overlook. The down payment is just the beginning. In most countries, you'll need between 10 to 20% of the home's value up front, but that's money that could be invested elsewhere. If you put $50,000 down on a house, that's $50,000 not earning returns in the stock market. Over 30 years, that opportunity cost could be worth $200,000 or more. Then there's the closing costs. These typically range from 2 to 5% of the home's purchase price. On a $300,000 home, that's $6,000 to $15,000 in fees for inspections, appraisals, legal work, and various administrative costs. In some countries, you'll also pay stamp duty or transfer taxes that can add thousands more. Property taxes are another major hidden cost. These vary dramatically by location, but can easily cost 1 to 3% of your home's value annually. On a $300,000 home, that's $3,000 to $9,000 per year, money that renters never pay directly. Home insurance is mandatory with a mortgage and typically costs much more than renter's insurance. While renters might pay $200 to $400 annually, homeowners often pay $1,000 to $3,000 or more, depending on location and coverage. Maintenance and repairs are where many new homeowners get shocked. The general rule is to budget 1 to 3% of your home's value annually for maintenance. On a $300,000 home, that's $3,000 to $9,000 per year. This includes everything from HVAC maintenance to roof repairs, plumbing issues, and appliance replacements. Then there's the big stuff that hits unexpectedly. A new roof can cost $15,000 to $30,000. A new HVAC system might run $10,000 to $20,000. Renters never worry about these costs. They're the landlord's responsibility. Home improvements are another hidden cost. Most homeowners spend money upgrading kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, and landscaping. While these might increase your home's value, they rarely provide a full return on investment. HOA fees, where applicable, can add hundreds of dollars monthly to your housing costs. These fees tend to increase over time and are essentially mandatory. Finally, there's the cost of selling. When you eventually move, you'll typically pay 5 to 7% of your home's value in selling costs, real estate agent commissions, staging, marketing, and other fees. Now let's examine the hidden costs of renting that people often ignore. The biggest hidden cost of renting is rent increases. In many markets, rents increase 3 to 5% annually. Over time, this can make your housing costs significantly higher than a fixed mortgage payment. Renter's insurance is relatively inexpensive, but still a cost that homeowners don't face separately, since it's included in their homeowner's policy. Moving costs add up when you rent. Renters move more frequently than homeowners, and each move can cost hundreds to thousands of dollars in moving services, deposits, and time off work. Lack of control is a hidden cost. You can't make improvements to increase your comfort or the property's value. You're also subject to potential eviction or non-renewal of your lease. No equity building is the opportunity cost renters face. While homeowners build equity through mortgage payments and property appreciation, renters get no ownership stake in their housing. Now let's look at some real-world scenarios to see how these costs play out. Scenario 1, Sarah in Denver. She's looking at a $300,000 home with a 20% down payment. Her monthly mortgage would be about $1,600, but her total monthly housing costs, including taxes, insurance, and maintenance, average about $2,400. She could rent a similar home for $2,000 monthly. Over 5 years, Sarah's total cost of ownership would be approximately $160,000, including opportunity cost of her down payment. Renting would cost $120,000. However, if she stays 10 years and her home appreciates at 3% annually, her total cost drops to about $140,000 versus $240,000 for renting. Scenario 2. James in London. He's considering a £500,000 flat. With a 15% down payment, his monthly costs including mortgage, council tax, service charges and maintenance would be about £3,000. He could rent a similar flat for £2,500 monthly. In London's high appreciation market, buying makes sense if James stays more than 7 years. But if he moves within 5 years, renting would be significantly cheaper due to high transaction costs. Scenario 3. Maria in Tokyo. She's looking at a 40 million yen apartment. In Japan's stable price environment, the break-even point between buying and renting is typically 8 to 12 years, depending on the specific location and market conditions. So how do you decide what's right for you? Here's a framework that works regardless of where you live. First, calculate your true cost of ownership. Take your monthly mortgage payment and add property taxes, insurance, maintenance, HOA fees, and the opportunity cost of your down payment. Then subtract the principal portion of your mortgage payment, since that builds equity. Second, consider your timeline. If you're planning to stay less than 5 years, renting is usually cheaper due to transaction costs. If you're staying more than 10 years, buying often makes sense. The 5 to 10 year range depends on your local market conditions. Third, evaluate your local market. In high appreciation areas, buying becomes attractive sooner. In flat or declining markets, renting often makes more sense. Fourth, consider your personal situation. Do you want the stability of owning? Are you comfortable with maintenance responsibilities? Do you have stable income to handle unexpected repairs? Fifth, run the numbers with online calculators that account for all costs, not just the basic mortgage payment. Let's address some common misconceptions about buying versus renting. Renting is throwing money away. This ignores that homeowners throw away money on interest, taxes, maintenance, and transaction costs. Only the principal portion of mortgage payments builds equity. Buying is always better for building wealth. This depends entirely on your local market, how long you stay, and what you do with the money you save by renting. You need to buy before prices get too high. Timing the market is nearly impossible. Focus on your personal situation rather than trying to predict market movements. Renting means you'll never have housing security. Many renters have stable, long-term arrangements. Meanwhile, homeowners face foreclosure risk if they can't make payments. Here are some specific considerations for different regions. In the United States, the mortgage interest deduction can make buying more attractive, especially for higher income earners. However, recent tax law changes have reduced this benefit for many people. In the United Kingdom, stamp duty and high transaction costs make buying expensive if you move frequently. The Help to Buy scheme can help first-time buyers, but be aware of the conditions and future implications. In many European countries, renting is more culturally accepted and legally protected, making it a viable long-term option. In parts of Asia, property prices are extremely high relative to incomes, making renting more financially sensible for many people. In Australia, negative gearing tax benefits can make investment property attractive, but be sure you understand the risks and long-term implications. Remember that this decision isn't just financial, it's also about lifestyle. Some people prefer the flexibility of renting, while others want the stability and control of owning. Here are the key takeaways. Buying is typically better if you plan to stay more than 7 to 10 years, have stable income, are comfortable with maintenance responsibilities, and are in a market with reasonable price-to-rent ratios. Renting is typically better if you value flexibility, don't want maintenance responsibilities, plan to move within 5 years, or are in a market where buying is extremely expensive relative to renting. The most important thing is to calculate the true total cost of ownership versus renting in your specific situation, including all the hidden costs we've discussed. Don't let social pressure or conventional wisdom drive this decision. Run the numbers based on your actual situation and local market conditions. If you found this analysis helpful, please like and subscribe to Investment Iguana for more financial wisdom that works worldwide. Drop a comment letting me know whether you're currently renting or buying and what factors are most important in your decision. This is Investment Iguana, helping you make informed financial decisions one step at a time.